Hello, dear friends. This is Chris speaking, Shores of Infinity, with a video about spiritual maintenance and balance. You may have noticed already that the spiritual path is not without ups and downs. Actually, it's with a lot of ups and downs, more like a roller coaster or like a leaf in the wind, because we're moving here through territory that has not been much or very well described, and if then only in metaphorical terms. There is no school where you can learn this, but I will offer from December onwards, from December to July, a course where you can learn how to be more stable. This is not a course how to become more spiritual or enlightened or awakened or whatever, but in your daily practice to become more stable. This is what I call spiritual maintenance. So I will support you individually and in a group. It's in the frame of a Zoom call twice a month, and you can choose the fee yourself. And although it's in a group, I will support you individually. There will also be some communication in between in the form of a Facebook page or Zoom or Telegram or Signal group chat, whatever will be necessary to make this possible and effective, to help you to be more balanced in your spiritual day-to-day practice without extreme ups and downs. Otherwise, it's kind of frustrating. I've received so many mails of people who say, oh God, coral is so horrible and so and so. And it is. The same is true for yellow, actually. Only turquoise and teal feel kind of mellow and equanimous. But otherwise, if you're starting on the intense curve of the spiritual journey, or if you have just woken up, or just, as I call it, crashed on the shores of infinity, and you don't know what to do, or how or if to go inland, or if you just want to get back, like Cypher in the Matrix, then this course might be helpful to you. Of course, you don't have to do any courses. I'm just offering this for anyone who is interested. I got many questions, so this is my response. I'm offering a course on spiritual maintenance that will be tailored to whomever joins this course. So it will be very practical and very no nonsense, very no bullshit, very down to earth. So I've been through ups and downs myself a lot during the last 20-25 years. So I know what I'm talking about. Got a lot of practical experience here. And I've gathered some effective tools, so to say. So this will be more like a spiritual coaching, how to live a more comfortable spiritual life in this context, in the context of your society and culture, which is probably not supportive of it. There are very few cultures that are supportive of it, in India, for example, but otherwise, not much. So, an example of spiritual maintenance. The best examples, of course, are family and work. Family and work can be very grounding, and they can be very demanding and not understanding. And for example, work, if we stick to the example work, many spiritual people do not have a normal kind of work. They already found their niche, or work as little as possible to avoid people as much as possible. This is not necessary. It's okay. It's one possibility to deal with it like that, but it's not necessary. So how do you stay centered? How do you stay with yourself, in a work context of a normal work, like, I don't know, in a computer company or working at school or kindergarten or wherever you work, repairing cars, I don't know. How to stay centered there, how to continue doing a kind of normal work without betraying yourself, without bending yourself kind of in a warped way that you're not. Yeah? And at the same time, so be spiritual at the same time, and at the same time, do a work that other people consider normal. How to maintain that without losing your grip all the time on both things, on the material aspect and on the spiritual aspect. That will be one of the main topics. Maybe some of you are anyway self-employed, but even then, if you're in meetings with clients of some sort, it might be difficult because of expectations and so on. So there are some simple tricks to stay with yourself, and also some simple tricks how not to forget these tricks. Because even if you know the tricks, to actually use them in practice is actually the difficult part, because once you're get into a stressful situation, you might forget about it and not use them. So we will also talk about this and practice this. So it is possible. It is possible to have a maintenance, and a lot of observing yourself is necessary to notice when you're at a point where it's too much, and then what to do. I'm recording this with my cell phone, so I have to check that I'm looking into the camera and not get distracted by the messages that come in. Okay, that's the other thing, distraction. How not to get distracted. I think that's one of the main issues in everything. Of course, you can just sit in nature by yourself all day long. It will be lonely, but it's easier to maintain your balance. On the other hand, then you can also have a false image of yourself and imagine that you are more balanced and equanimous than you actually are. I remember a Vipassana teacher who always got very upset if someone managed to upset her equanimity, and she didn't notice that it was her responsibility to maintain this. So there are again some very simple tricks that you just have to practice. How to maintain your balance, equanimity, whatever you call it. So this is my offer to you. Write an email to me if you're interested, or write me on Patreon. Thank you to all my Patreons. Thank you for liking and subscribing and joining me as a Patreon, and see you soon.